Hello and welcome back to the board. I'm the Gareth Major, and today we'll be discussing Agile cruiser builds. What can you do with in-game resources? What pay-to-win resources are there? Are the pay-to-win resources available? And what gives you the best returns from the in-game resources? For the purpose of this discussion, we will be playing the Surrey, the Tier 6 British Tech Tree cruiser, which has the third worst rudder shift against her Tech Tree counterparts of 11.3 seconds. So that's a lot of time to shift that rudder over, but we have obviously done some work on that. Now, when it comes to Agile cruiser builds, for the purpose of this discussion, we will be looking at Tier 4, 5, 6 and 7 cruisers. And while we're taking a look at those, we'll be, to put some kind of like numbers behind the numbers, I guess you could say, we'll be talking about the average Tech Tree cruiser rudder shift at those tiers. So, what is that? Well, the average rudder shift for a Tech Tree cruiser for Tier 4 is 7.27 seconds. It's 7.84 seconds for a Tier 5, it's 9.55 seconds for a Tier 6, and 9.31 seconds for a Tier 7. And then when it comes to what we can do in regards to rudder shift, well, there's a couple of things we can do. First of all, there's Steering Gears Module 2, which is available for Tier 5, 6 and 7 cruisers. It is the module that you can equip in the second slot. Now this will reduce your rudder shift by a flat 20%, and so I think the modules is obviously a nice thing to really have when it comes to having an Agile cruiser build, because they only cost you credits and they are straight away a fixed up return, which is quite nice. So in regards to Rudder Shift Module 2, the impact it has on the average rudder shift is in the region of 1.57 to 1.91 seconds. Obviously, the slower your rudder is, the larger the effect will be in the reduction of time of your rudder shift. Now, for a Tier 6 and 7 cruiser, you can also have Steering Gears Module 3, which reduces your rudder shift by 40%, and this is because basically the third module slot becomes available at Tier 6. Now, this minus 40% rudder shift impact on the average rudder shift time is 3.82 seconds for a Tier 6 and 3.72 seconds for a Tier 7. So really, the Steering Gears modules, they have a massive impact. I mean, you're looking at only 20% for a Tier 5, but a total of 60% for a Tier 6 and 7, and they are basically fixed amounts, and they only cost you credits, and they are available as soon as you purchase the ship. So if you're going down the Agile cruiser route, these resources are available straight away. They're already unlocked, I guess you could say. Now, other ways that you can improve rudder shift on all tiers of cruisers is to obviously use commander traits. Now, for each nation, there is a defensive and offensive commander for the cruisers. Both of these commanders will come with Steer Clear. Steer Clear will reduce your rudder shift by 7%, I should say, once fully upgraded. By fully upgraded, you have to basically rank your commander up to rank 16 Legendary 4. So that's the downsides of Steer Clear. For you to have the largest effect, you are going to have to invest a lot of promotion orders, insignias and universal accommodations in order to do this, and this is almost per nation as well. So that is one of the downsides of Steer Clear. You're going to have to do this with every nation that you decide that you're going to have an Agile cruiser build with. So that's a bit of a downside, I guess you could say, in regards to Steer Clear. Now, there's also Full Speed Ahead, which is on the defensive cruiser commander for each nation. Now this improves your cruiser speed, which is a nice trait. We'll touch on why that's a nice trait later on, but also reduces your rudder shift by a maximum of 10% once fully upgraded. And the nice one about full speed ahead is that it's fully upgraded once you reach rank 12 legendary 2, which is a lot more achievable than fully upgrading steer clear, I guess you could say. Now this 10% reduction on your rudder shift, the impact on the average rudder shift is somewhere between 0.73 and 0.96 seconds depending on the tier, I guess you could say, when we're talking about the average rudder shift. Now, last but not least, we have inspirations. In-game, there are 2 rudder shift orientated inspirations which come from pay-to-win commanders, I guess you could say, or commanders which are only available for doubloons. There's Archipelago of Blue Steel to KO, but she has a very minimal impact, so we're not really going to talk about her. And there's also a Zerlang Baltimore. You've probably seen Zerlang Baltimore crop up a lot of times because she does get used quite often for Agile cruiser builds. Now, Zerlang Baltimore will offer you a total rudder shift reduction of 6% once fully upgraded. That's rank 16, legendary 4. And she only becomes available on the occasion for 5,000 doubloons, or in an Zerlang Wave 2 crate, which will probably cost you 2,500 doubloons. Now, the impact of this reduction is obviously less than steer clear. You're looking at 0.44 to 0.57 seconds on the average rudder shift for the tier 4 to tier 7 cruisers, so it's not a massive impact. Is the way to put it. But I guess the advantage you could say of the Zerlang Baltimore reduction to your rudder shift is it's an inspiration. So unlike steer clear, where if you wanted to have a fully upgraded steer clear on every single nation, it's going to cost you ranking a commander up to 16.4 in every single nation, with Zerlang Baltimore you get the benefit of steer clear on any commander that you so wish, or almost equal to steer clear because it's -6 rather than -7. But you can get it as an inspiration on any commander. So although you will have to obviously purchase the commander, and the impact is lesser than steer clear, it's more universal, I guess you could say. So with Agile cruiser builds, there's 2 things that you obviously are buffing. There's obviously rudder shift, that's the main one that everyone always notices, I guess you could say. But the other one that I like to also work on is speed. The reason why is with speed, it gets you to move around your turning circle a lot more per second, I guess you could say, which means that if you do start to turn, you're going to travel further and obviously steer further if you're travelling faster when it comes to trying to dodge incoming shots. The other thing that a lot of people focus on is obviously the rudder shift. The reason being is the rudder shift enacts how quickly you get to your maximum rudder shift over, and also therefore starting your smallest turning circle. Now when it comes to dodging, you're either going to be saying, oh, I'll angle against these incoming shots, or I'm going to try and dodge the incoming shots. And sometimes when it comes to just dodging, the one trick I like to have is be at least 10 kilometers or more if you're doing this kind of Agile cruiser build. Reason being is 10 kilometers seems like less than 10 kilometers you seems to be not enough time in order to actively dodge incoming shots. So 10 kilometers is basically my boundary line when it comes to trying to dodge incoming shots. If I'm getting too close, then that's when I'll start turning away and trying to pick my moment to turn away. Now when it comes to actually doing a rudder shift build, I mean, how much you want to get your rudder shift down to can vary. I like to usually aim for about 4 seconds if I can, but sometimes having better than 4 seconds is nicer. Now when it comes to a tier 6 and 7 cruiser, you can achieve a 4-second rudder shift, or better than a 4 second rudder shift for all cruisers once you have steering gears module 2 and 3, and you need at least steer clear to do that. So it means if you have full speed ahead, you've probably already achieved it. So really, any tier 6 and 7 cruiser can be an agile cruiser without any pay to win inspirations, I guess you could say, which is worth to note. Now, when it comes to the lower tiers, obviously the pay-to-win commanders will help, but really with tier 4 you don't have access to all of the modules, so most of your reduction to rudder shift is going to be coming from your commanders and inspirations, and therefore it means that with the worst rudder shift for a tier 4 cruiser, you're not going to be doing too well, whereas for the best you might do alright, but you might have to stack everything onto it. For tier 5, for the best rudder shift, a agile cruiser build seems to be capable, getting down to a rudder shift of 4.10 seconds for the best rudder shift. Is possible without the lane Baltimore or anything else like that. And for tier 6, you can obviously get your rudder shift down to 1.59 seconds for the best rudder shift, without any of the pay-to-win inspirations. Now, the commander I've used in this game is Tennant. I've used obviously full speed ahead, Velocious, steer clear, inspirations, Müller and Mimbelli, so therefore I've been able to get a 2.9 second rudder shift all the way down from 11.3 seconds without having to have any pay to win resources, I guess you could say, in my command build. And obviously I've taken steering gears module 2 and module 3. Well, I'm not going to complain too much about that, especially being it's taken me so many attempts to actually get a decent recording of this, and I hope you did enjoy it. Hopefully it does give you an idea of what gives you the best returns for the different modules, commanders and inspirations, and also whether or not Zerling Baltimore really is worthwhile. Honestly, I don't think she is, because you're talking about 5,000 doubloons to guarantee to get her, if you're just purchasing just the one commander, and really she's not beneficial, I would say, unless you're looking at doing like super agile cruiser builds on tier 4 but it's not that much worthwhile, because the amount of reduction in time that she adds to a rudder shift is quite minimal, to the point where it might not even be noticeable, I guess you could say. Oh well, if you did enjoy it, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Till next time, I'm the Gaff Major, and back to the port.
Hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping Major. Bumpity, 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 bump. Get out of the way there, you fellows, unless you want me to run you down. I guess this is the life